Seek information only from trusted sources and take practical steps to prepare your plans and protect yourself and loved ones. Need help and support? Please contact us at the hotline 311 Psychosocial Support at 722-6575 or 518-4157. Brought to you by PAHO, the OACS Commission, and UNICEF.
I can't stay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. It is Friday, April the 9th. Right, April the 9th, Friday, 2021. I don't know why I get my dates mixed up. But as always, I appreciate you guys spending the beginning of your weekend with us here. You could be anywhere, but you're here, and we appreciate that. If you are listening to us on Hits FM 92.1 and 91.1, good morning to you, and I hope so far the day has been good for you. If you're also watching us on Instagram and Twitter and Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, then we welcome you too, and we say good morning to you. And of course, if you're watching us on television on channel 124 on Flow, that is UTV Underground Television, where it's at, good morning to you. Right now, the calls I'm getting, and I've gotten them from my sisters, I've gotten it from my friends in Vieux Fort, they're worried about what's happening in St. Vincent, and I think many people, if not worried, then they are curious as to what's going on over there. So I think we'll start off there. I do know people in the south are saying that it's more overcast than it normally is and that sort of thing. So we need to keep, I think, our heads about us, and we ask that the people in our neighboring sister isle that they're okay, and we don't see too much destruction and loss of lives and stuff like that. But even with everything, for me personally, I see it and it just reminds me that, there's a lot more to life, and, just I don't know, when things make you feel small in a world when these things are happening. So we'll start here. We'll start off not really in St. Lucia as we normally do with the issues that we're facing, but of course we know that what's happening there will affect us. Maybe we'll have to take some evacuees, or we know that tectonic plates and everything, they're also connected. So what's happening here there does have a bearing on us, and we also must look to what's going on there. So let's start there.
The dreaded announcement came late Thursday afternoon, guided by the advice of scientists closely monitoring the Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent. That nation's Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, moved the threat level to red, the highest on the scale, meaning a major eruption is imminent. The evacuation order has now been issued.
Professor Robertson indicated to me that matters have deteriorated further at La Soufrière. And he spoke to Michelle Forbes, the director of NEMO, and she tendered me advice relevant to the making of an order in respect of evacuation.
With the evacuation plan put into motion, residents in harm's way were being urged to cooperate with those charged with the responsibility of facilitating their departure.
So there is now in the country an evacuation order. All arrangements have now kick-started and the process begins. I want to urge all our people to be calm, do not panic, be disciplined, be orderly.
This is a complex task. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has sought the assistance of friendly governments near and far in this time of urgent need.
I want to thank all the governments of CARICOM for their generosity. I know Prime Minister Skerrit in Dominica had hitherto offered all his assistance, and I'm sure that other countries in CARICOM, those who have not spoken to me as yet, would render their support.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines has also solicited the assistance of the cruise ship sector to help with the evacuation of residents. But COVID-19 has added another layer of complexity to a very challenging situation, with cooperating nations and sectors requiring the evacuees to be vaccinated against the virus.
Royal Caribbean is offering 3 vessels, 3 ships. 2 of them will come by tomorrow morning. A 3rd one will come subsequently. And Carnival Cruise Line, through the Minister of Tourism, has indicated that by tomorrow evening there will be 2 cruise ships from Carnival.
This is as difficult a situation as it gets for the residents in the danger zone of the Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent, having to turn their backs on the place they call home, not knowing if or when they will make the return journey and what they may return to. Stanley Lucien for the HTS News Force.
And, you know, when you see these images, you know, they're very jarring, well, for me at least, and I know that for many of us, I could say it on behalf of many here, I think we can say that on behalf of St. Lucia, that, you know, we are concerned with what's going on here, and our prayers are with you guys in St. Vincent. Now, because of that, I think, you know, I don't have, you know, a sort of small existential crisis or whatever here, but I have never seen something like that so close to us, and, you know, the enormity of it, and, you know, the force of nature, that kind of thing. And when you realize that, you know, you're only one person in the grand sphere of things, it really has a way of putting things in perspective. But with that said, my heart goes out to the people there, and with that in mind, I just wanted us to see some of the images from the evacuation to the explosion earlier this morning.
Yes, people, watch your man. People are at the board. The people. Look at people. Watch people. Oh God. Yeah, this suffer just blew the guys right at Chester over my head here. Watch, look at this. Wow. Seeing this thing live. Chester Cottage right here. This thing mount over the top of the mountain. Wow. The volcano have just blown in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I command no come fish up here.
For that blow. Oh God.
Yeah, this is it now, bro. Really not going. What is it? You know.
Yeah, tell mommy it's not safe to be on the road now. No, we'll leave what people panicking.
No, we're seeing it, we're watching it here.
Hey, Longley. Alright guys, I'm gonna head inside a little bit. I'll update you as it goes along. Right, it's coming to you live from Rose Hall. A lot of people on the road rushing and speeding.
So again, some of the images there from this morning and from last evening. I think it is very humbling stuff for me when I look at it anyway. So like we say, we do hope that they remain safe there, but I also think it also makes me think of crises and how they are managed, because it really brings into mind we're dealing with a crisis with COVID, and the cruise ships and some countries are saying, you know what, even if you're evacuating people, the evacuees themselves, they too must be vaccinated before they can come on. And some people are saying maybe, that's not right. You don't have time to vaccinate if you have people coming to you, trying to save their lives and stuff like that. But it also, you don't want to, for some people it's understandable that you don't want, with all the progress that you've made in a country or progress in your business or whatever else, just to safeguard your own people before you take some more. So it really does put us in a very strange predicament. But with all that being said, with what I've seen in social media, from Twitter to Facebook and everything else, there seems to be a collective sort of encouragement, and it's what we've always been striving for with CARICOM, I guess, but you could see people coming together for that. So we're just going to as we go on into the weekend, to remember that there are people going through a lot, maybe loss of land, clearly, with all of that going on. But for us here in St. Lucia, we've also had some guidelines on what to do as we see what's going on in our neighboring country. Let's take a look at the guidelines that we've been given. They say with the rumblings of the volcano in St. Vincent, we can expect some deterioration in the air quality here in St. Lucia. An eruption could cause the release of ash and harmful gases that can make it hard to breathe. This may affect some patients, especially those with pre-existing conditions such as COPD or asthma. Here are some ways you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Stay indoors as much as possible and keep doors and windows closed. Whether you are indoors or outdoors, wear a dust mask designed to protect against lung irritation from small particles. Protect your eyes by wearing goggles, wear glasses and not contact lenses. Keep as much of your skin covered as possible. A few of the other things that have been given, shown there for that's from the Rodney Bay Medical Center. And also the water supply may be interrupted due to ash fall. Ensure that you have an adequate supply of clean, drinkable water. And I think that was also mentioned by a media colleague of mine, Nelsia Shalmine, and some others, saying that especially, in the south and other places, to make sure that you have water, because you don't know what's up. Moscow might just cut you off. So we're going to hold it there for a while, and just to keep that in mind as we go along, because when we come back, we'll talk about what's happening here. Stay with us.
I can't stay.
La vaccine COVID wive Saint Lucie, ekse pou moun ki an l'âge 18 l'année et moutan, moun ki ka travay a département santé ki wiskab, dokter, nos, polis, pompier, moun ki ni pisadou, kanser, batman chè, presha, l'oppression, epi moun ki an l'âge 65 l'année et moutan. Ou pani pou paye pou la vaccine, epi yo pa ka oblige ou point. Registrasyon sa fèt online an tout health center ek epi dokter privé. Vacciné pour vous, pour ça et puis pour nous.
The future of outward performance begins today.
Available at Red Dot in Grosile and Susie's Varieties in Bois de Wange and Vieux-Fort.
Hello, what's really good is yours, truly, Barry Hype, representing for you TV, channel 124. Why?
I can't stay.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with us. If you are listening to us on radio, if you're watching us on television, or whatever social media platform that you prefer where we are, think of it Nuala. Okay, so we will, I think, continue in much the same way that we started yesterday, because we have some new developments. But just so we can remind ourselves of the madness, of the more of the saga that continues. Oh, my pen fell. The saga that continues with this administration. You know, we'll start off with this.
Will we be granting the leader of the opposition his wish to visit the St. Jude Hospital site tomorrow?
Well, first of all, he wrote the letter to the Minister of Economic Development, and I'm sure the minister will be responding to him. But, you know, if I had to look at it, I mean, to go and do a site inspection without taking into what has happened, I mean, I think that there needs to be a meeting to discuss from the time the St. Jude's burnt down to where we are now, and how we got there. I mean, it's just unimaginable for me to think that the former government would have spent that kind of money on a hospital and there's no planning approval. There was no finalized drawings. The question is, was there even a plan to transition from one facility to the other facility, and what accommodations have been made for that? So I think that, you know, I think it's a good thing for them to get together. I've not spoken to the minister. I'm sure he will respond accordingly. But look, we're always interested in having a discussion, and certainly if the opposition wants to bring technical people, then I think that we should bring all the technical people. And as I said to you, let's go back and discuss it from the beginning. And I think before you do a site inspection, it's more important to have that technical meeting. And if you're going to go for a site inspection, you should be a site inspection that includes both the old facility and a new facility, so we clearly understand what's happening.
So it will not take place tomorrow, as far as
I didn't say that. I'm not involved. The letter was not written to me. It was written to the Minister of Economic Development. I've been assured that the minister will respond to him, and so maybe it doesn't take tomorrow, but certainly can take place another date. But I certainly would suggest to the minister that there be some kind of technical meeting before there be a physical tour, in order that we all are on the same page.
Because in the press release, the SLP is saying that it's in view of recent reports concerning disturbing developments in relation to the project. In a position to clarify this?
Well, I don't know what that means. But again, with the opposition, you never really know what they mean. I mean,
you know, again, Mr. Prime Minister, stop the lies. Stop the lies. Both you and I were in government when St. Jude was started. St. Jude was started by a United Workers' Party government or a United Workers' Party administration. The Labour Party did not do the foolishness that you guys are indulging in now. They merely sought to continue St. Jude from where they found it. That's what they did. And permit me to say that had the Labour Party won the elections of 2016, St. Jude would have been a completed project that could have been accessed by the people of the southern area of this country. Had they won the elections, they would have continued. So So for you to open your mouth, Mr. Prime Minister, and to blame the former government, they spent money on a hospital for which there was no approved plan. That is disingenuous on your part. Because you and I were in cabinet when St. Jude was started. If you want to blame the United Workers' Party administration that started St. Jude without the plan to which you refer. Stop trying to fool the people. The former government, my foot. The former government did not start St. Jude. The former government found St. Jude under construction and did the wise thing, continued construction. So now you come in with this crap. How can the former government spend money on a project for which there was no approval? I mean, you need to stop that, man. And you talk about things that are easily verifiable. It's easily verifiable to know when St. Jude started. It's easily verifiable to know at what stage of construction that the Labour Party assumed office. How are you blaming them? Why are you blaming them? Blame yourselves, blame me. I was in government. I didn't know anything about that. The former government. You know? And folks, you'll not believe. We just heard Shastri say that he would welcome an opportunity for discussion. That is the very same Prime Minister who said in Parliament, in our most august chamber, that the opposition had lost their right to advise anyone on governance, and they had lost that right since June 6, 2016. That is the same Prime Minister who said he does not listen. He let the jackasses breathe. But last night on television, he would say he's always open to discussion. Always open to discussion. And then he went on to say that the opposition makes some, you know, I don't know what word he used, I can't remember, preposterous allegations. He didn't say preposterous. But they make some allegations, blah, blah, blah. You know? Did that come from your mouth, Mr. Prime Minister? Are you not the same Prime Minister, the same Alan Shastri, who caused persons to march believing that there was some $6.80 on each gallon of gas when that tax was non-existent? That wasn't true at all.
The Prime Minister, with what we just heard him say, we heard him say it yesterday, that it's not up to him. He's not involved. They didn't send him any letter. It has to be responded to by Guy Joseph, but he suggests that Guy Joseph, you know, should tell the opposition members who want to go on a site visit on St. Jude's that, you know, they need to have a technical meeting first. So the Prime Minister suggests that to his Prime Minister, and you know, he said it's out of his hands. So we have come into the Economic Development Minister, Guy Joseph's response to Philip J. Pierre, leader of the opposition. Let's put it up. So it says here, addressed to Philip J. Pierre, we can scroll down. It says, and we'll read it in its entirety because I think it's very important that we understand the nuances, you know, everything that's going on here. So Guy Joseph writes to Philip J. Pierre, I hereby acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 6 April 2021 seeking clearance for a delegation to visit the site of the St. Jude's Hospital reconstruction project on the 8th of April 2021. I am very pleased to see the renewed interest by the opposition in this project, albeit rather late, and I wish to assure you of my commitment to accede to your request. In order to make this site visit as meaningful and productive as possible, I would suggest that we first schedule a technical meeting, same thing Shasney said, to review all activities on the sites, both old and new, since the commencement of construction after the fire to the present day. This meeting will be open to all members of the opposition, as well as such technical advisors as you choose to invite, and I will attend along with my technical team and ministry staff. In spite of our most earnest efforts, no government staff at the Development Control Authority, the DCA, the Ministry of Planning, or the Ministry of Economic Development has been able to obtain the planning approval for the old project, final architectural and engineering drawings, a budget, or a detailed list of expenditures. We know that these documents must exist, as it is unimaginable that your administration, let's go to the next one, that your administration would have, or we go scrolling, would have undertaken a project of this magnitude and financial cost without them. Therefore, it would be enormously helpful if you could bring these critical documents to our meeting in order that we can get an accurate historical account of the construction and the events that transpired. Let me reiterate my commitment and that of my ministry to facilitating this site visit. Our ministry and our government are incredibly proud of this project and hope that it represents for all St. Lucians who have waited for far too long for a world-class medical facility. I look forward to attending our meeting and the ensuing site visit, which I believe will only be to our mutual benefit, but more importantly, to the benefit of the people of St. Lucia. Guy Joseph. I must say, though, it is not, it's a thinly veiled FU to the opposition. And more than an FU, it is an insult, I think, to not just the members of the opposition, but I think to St. Lucians on a whole. When you have the minister who is echoing, repeating, parroting the Prime Minister days before, who said that would have been his response, and now you have Guy Joseph saying that, you have to ask what exactly is going on there. People are playing politics, and it could be, as you can try to play cleverly worded and insult between the lines and do all that sort of thing, but there are things going on, taxpayers' money being spent, millions, and you're saying that parliamentarians cannot go and see what's happening so they can come to their constituents to let them know. We do remember too that the SLMDA did a walkthrough, and while the work was suspended under this administration, it was Mark Hennicott, I think, and John Peters, and out of that they decided and suggested that, you know, the hospital can be transitioned into the East Wing. And I wonder what would go, what's in the mind of Guy Joseph and a lot of them when they're saying that they don't have planning approval, when, just as Richard Frederick said, they started under the United Workers' Party. So when you're saying that there's no planning approval, what are you trying to say? What exactly? And it's the lies. And, you know, Shasney will say it on Timothy's show, and now you have it in a letter, not cleverly worded. I think it's very thinly veiled, an FU with an exclamation mark to the opposition, and again shows the lack of respect. And remember too, if you're out of office, how do you expect people to bring documents to you? Do you think people have documents at their homes? You're supposed to have them right where you are. You're leaking everything, you'll have everything, and now you're coming to tell people that's not the way things work. So in essence, you're saying that there are vital public documents that are not within the public service, and that, you know, the parliamentarians have them at their home somewhere hidden. And let's not forget too that Guy Joseph led his technical audit into St. Jude's, about $980,000, let's call it $1 million, for a technical report, which we have not seen. But even in that, we have not seen it in its entirety, but some of it has been put out for us. So let's take a look. I thought of something very interesting of his own technical audit and what it had and what it said there. Let's go a bit lower to the highlighted part, because I thought that one was interesting. So when you stop a project for 2.5 years, trying to do an audit. And even in the same audit that they conducted, this is what came out of it. It says here, the issues highlighted are significant in nature. However, we do not see a great value present in the works completed to date and believe the project is salvageable and could be converted into a facility that can properly serve the needs of St. Lucia, as St. Jude's Hospital is designated as a primary healthcare facility, and one of its primary roles to ensure effective acute and referral services in the south of the island with future potential for growth and development. So in all of what we've seen, and I must say, you know, I've said it before, from Vieux Fort, I remember when that hospital was burned. I almost lost my father to that. He got a Medal of Honor and stuff like that. I mean, which is okay, but I would have much preferred to have my father's life. So when you're saying, you know, these things and people are playing politics with it, and you're sending a letter to say, F you, you ain't going nowhere, that you cannot go anywhere without a technical meeting. What technical meeting? Why is there a need for a technical meeting? I remember too, there was senators, all senators could have gone. They did have a walkthrough. Joachim Henry and the rest of the senators were out there in the space walking about, and you know, no technical meeting. The vindictiveness of this administration continues to baffle me. I should not be baffled, but it continues to, and I think that's the problem with me. I do not, and I understand that, you know, the opposition, you write a letter because you're trying to do things by the rules, but it makes me think, you know, what's even the point of following rules when you have people who do not abide by them, and it continues to annoy me. But I think with everything going on, because right now what I'm hearing, you're trying to rush the hospital because that's been a major promise to the electorate, and you know, if you can rush it and at least do a little ribbon cutting and, you know, put 2-3 patients and have something like just to save face, you think that will give you points. But again, that just proves to me that there is a lack of respect. And it's almost, no, it is unconscionable to want to rush projects with the contractors and the workers who, you know, have to try to work hard, and then vaguely people with the cladding and doing all that sort of thing and trying to get people in there while we're risking lives. And thank God, what I'm hearing is that the contractors are saying that they're not and they cannot do that. They do not feel comfortable rushing it and trying to get the transition to happen this year. It pass our fit. And I remember, and I know, Guy Joseph made a lot of promises, speaking loudly. And I too remember when Philip JPS said, you know, 4 years is not 40 years. And now you're seeing the rush. You stop for 2 years and you have to make it run. But not at the expense of our lives. If we forgot, let's remember. Let's take a look back to Guy Joseph's promises to us.
Depending on whom you ask, Castries Southeast MP and Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph has the proverbial flair for the dramatic. True to form, it was on display prior to Tuesday's lower house sitting, when Joseph fielded questions from the media. Alan Chastney has busied himself on social media the past weeks, posting videos and still images of the ongoing work on the near 12-year-old St. Jude reconstruction project. Health Minister Senator Mary Isaac, when quizzed by the media on numerous occasions for an update on the project, referred them to the minister responsible, Guy Joseph. So Tuesday, he was asked, when will construction on the primary healthcare facility for the South be completed? Take a listen to his response.
I've said that the work is ongoing, we've been putting out, and I would like the media to take a thought on what to say. To come and say the same things all the time. So why don't we organize something when the media can go down firsthand and see for themselves what is happening? Then you can be in a position, you can question the experts who are working, the consultant, the contractor, everybody. I mean, to me, that's the way you do this thing. It's not about ministers. Y'all still trust ministers giving comments on these things and when they open and when they close? Is the media real on this thing?
And in response, one member of the media asked, are we not supposed to trust ministers? Guy Joseph continues. Take a listen.
No. When it comes to construction and the timelines that they give, I'm referring in particular to St. Jude. How many times have we been given timelines on this? And you need to understand the reality of what we are dealing with. It's a moving target that, look at what has happened with COVID and how it has impacted. You know how much material we have sitting overseas for St. Jude that cannot get shipped to St. Lucia because of the challenges. So there are challenges. So any minister giving you a timeline would be giving you a timeline on the basis of what is given to him.
Guy Joseph did not end there, reminding the media of his profound experience in and knowledge of construction.
I know enough about construction to know that you don't just go and give a timeline because somebody tell you they'll finish on that day. You send your car to a garage and the bodyman tells you you'll get your car in 2 weeks, and 2 months later you still can't get your car. You send your television, your fridge, anything. Are we not familiar with that?
The Economic Development Minister, when asked if he is willing to facilitate a media tour to the construction site, his response was, quote, "Of course, I don't see why not," end quote. But the Parliament press corps was relentless, seeking more clarity from the Economic Development Minister on the St. Jude project, which clearly falls under his purview.
But if it falls under your jurisdiction, you're the one in charge of it.
Have I ever given a timeline?
No, but then you can give us updates on it.
Okay, how, if you could give us a percentage of the project, how far is it? 50%, 80%, 30% completed?
I am not in the business of giving you percentages. I will give you a complete hospital when it's 100%.
Now let's weigh in on this statement in particular by the Economic Development Minister.
Have I ever given a timeline?
So, and he's given timelines on many occasions. Solutions, I am tired. It's been over a decade and we've still had to, have this discussion about St. Jude's. But more than anything, it just shows me the secrecy, shrouding, covering all of what's going on here. And I cannot continue to accept. And I remember we got some calls yesterday of people saying that, they might just go there themselves. And with that being said, with a minister, an economic development minister, who is saying, he won't give any more timelines, when we know he's made the promise that if they don't finish, the UWP pafini pa vote by you. So I guess now that the time is coming, you have to rush, and you cannot let, people with expertise, mechanical, you don't want them there. You don't want technical people who don't have to kiss anybody's ass or whatever to stay in a job. You don't want that. You just want it to be done quickly. So cladding that you don't have to put any reinforcing walls for, just put it up as the wall and glue it together like some matchstick house or whatever. Put it and do that. Do it quick. And, just again, what we've seen, the MO of this administration, to veglate people and, have the ribbon cutting and just, show the beds coming in and some patients coming in and that kind of thing. Even though they take a tikwe a la sala, at least you can say that you open it, and that continues to show me that more than the disrespect to the opposition and everything else that we've seen over the 4 years, and the disrespect to professionals, it continues to be this uncaring nature that to do something well and to do it with pride, even though it takes time. You made it a political promise, okay, you have to take it. I think both parties have had to take it, and with the UWP, I don't think you have to run. You cannot run away from that, and you cannot tell us that you're going to rush people, rush the work. There's not enough of anything, but you're going to force the contractors to do what they have to do just so it can look good, so you can get some political points. We'll open the lines at 572-7588. We could discuss whatever you want to, anything that I've highlighted so far in the show, or anything else that is on your mind that you want to talk about. And we're seeing more than that. I think we have to keep focus on what the real problem is, the lack of accountability, yes, the disrespect. So when we have all of these issues to deal with, let's not focus on Franny. But you know what, just because I had it yesterday, we're going to take a look at it as well. I know a lot of people had some thoughts on that.
Well, we need to talk about the new future. You've criticized heavily the Cabot development. Wait a minute. The Prime Minister was here last week. I asked to see the hospital because it's been one of my biggest issues. He took me there yesterday.
But we wrote asking him.
Right, so we will talk about that because I heard a letter came out yesterday.
Franny has the inside link.
I was there yesterday. He honored his promise.
Yeah.
He took me there yesterday, me with my 2 eyes here. I went in there myself. I haven't told anybody. We haven't spoken about it. I haven't told them what I saw. I walked through every inch myself.
We'll talk about that.
When we come back, I want to talk about it because I've heard a lot of what you said, and you speak very passionately about these issues. And I know you guys released a letter yesterday, I think, with requests to see and all that. So when we come back, I'd like to discuss what I saw, and you'll tell me your take on.
We'll take that call. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, what's going on here? Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. Okay, so I was told that person already yet. Listen, I know we've had a lot of discussions, and I remember I got the call. I'm going to call you out, Cornelia. We've had the discussion. I didn't want to get too much into it, but I did disagree with you that they had to have any problem, with Franny saying that she went to visit and she had the experience of visiting and walking through the hospital. We need to keep the issues where they are. Franny, I got the call. I'm going to call you out, Cornelia. Franny has said that she asked the Prime Minister whether she could go, and she went. If she did not say that on her show, would we have known that there was a media delegation out at all? If somebody is asking something and then, they get to go, I would have done the same thing. I don't think she did anything wrong in doing that. What I continue to find is that we are conflating the issues and not putting the feelings, the angst, the anger, the frustration where it's supposed to go. And I know that many of y'all, if you're SLP supporters and everything like that, do what you have to do and feel how you're feeling. But all I am willing to do here on this show is put right where it is and wrong where it is. And for me, the issue must remain that Guy, Shasney and Guy and a lot of them cannot deny people access into the hospital. And for those who have been granted access, if they've been asked, that's not the issue. They're not the bad person, they're not the enemy. And this sort of vitriol that is being spewed out there on someone who was open with us, because it surprised me, because if Franny didn't say that, we would not hear anybody. When I looked at the video, I think with Rihanna, I saw Norbert, I saw some of the people with their masks on, but none of the reporters, nobody from HTS. I think I saw DBS there. I think I saw Kendall there, but nobody from NBC or none of these other stations. If she hadn't said it, nobody had posted a picture on Facebook. You know how they like to do that already. We would not have known had she not said. And let's stop attacking people in that way. Let's take that other call. Good morning. What is going on? Good morning. Okay. What's going on here? We lost the call. Okay, so this is where we are, and I think it brings me to another point, that if you're going to deny people and make up excuses why the parliamentarians cannot go, then there's nothing to do but to go yourself. And I think Franny also gave us some advice on that.
So I was a little bit, shaky on that, like, okay, here we go, another premise for the hospital. He said, how about I take you down there? I said, great. I got the invitation to go, and I went yesterday. Walked through the hospital. I first went to the structure that was meant to be ready. Scotty this morning, if he went, he said he hasn't been.
No.
And like I told him, there were people there. It's open. Are you aware?
Let me just say.
Are you all aware that it is open?
When I went down, all right, it wasn't complete yet. It was just
breaking down and stuff,
and rebuilding.
Yeah.
But I wasn't allowed to go.
Yeah.
In.
That would have been years ago.
Okay. No, man. That was year before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Year before.
Mhm.
Right. And they did not allow me. In fact, I was not even allowed to take photos by the site.
Mhm.
I had to go on somebody's property, ask them permission nicely, and they tell me, yeah, sure. And I flew.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
So I was there yesterday,
So I
and
was not-
I told
I could not go
him,
in.
and he said he would try to go himself.
right.
But I went, and it was open. There were people there as well, so like people
So
can
you-
go
so
in.
we can just go there next week.
I'm not sending you.
If Franny can organize a visit to St. Jude, you can.
Well,
certainly
he organized a visit for me,
Yeah.
but
tell
I
him
did
organize
say
for us to go
I'll have to get
Yeah,
to.
that's the connect.
I'll have to
Yeah,
talk to
connect.
Nicole.
Yeah,
I'll make a couple
You have
calls
to
for you.
interact. But
I'll make a call, but I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it was open, and there were other people there as well.
So, I mean, if it's open and you can go, Mr. Lubin, I know you called yesterday suggesting just that. So, you know what? Maybe we will go there. Maybe I will go there and see whether I could see some things, and whether we could see what actually is going on there. Let's take the call, see if it works. Good morning.
Good.
Hi.
Hi. Trisha, I really don't know why people still believe that Guy Joseph, like Alan Shastney, speaks the truth on anything, Guy Joseph is talking about he wants information from the opposition in terms of DC for the project. He wants information on the costs and this and that and the other. Trisha, first of all, like you pointed out, that reconstruction project began under the United Workers' Party administration of 2006-2011, under the then Prime Ministership of Stephenson King. That was when that project began. So, if anybody had to get DCA approval to start the project, it had to have been the government of the United Workers' Party, of which Guy Joseph was a part, of which he was a member. Now, the other thing there, Trisha, is the questions that Guy Joseph is asking about the project, which he's unashamedly asking about this project. Remember Shanta King? Shanta King wrote a report about the entire project up to August 2016, because Shanta King was the one who was put in charge, so to speak, of that project. And Shanta King wrote a report, which I am sure the United Workers' Party have copies of, detailing stuff like the background and project overview, the project management, the project finance, the issues, challenges, and constraints, the outstanding issues for action, all of that stuff, all of that are contained in the report. So for Guy Joseph to shamelessly come and talk about or ask questions, or the type of questions that he's asking related to the project, when all of those questions are answered in that report by Shanta King, I mean, Trisha, again, this country will only sink deeper into this quagmire that this United Workers' Party government has put it, if the people of this country do not wake up to this realization and come out in large numbers on the day of the election to drive, I'm not even saying vote them out, drive them out of the governance of this country, we're already in serious trouble. We need to begin to address those issues that we face in a serious way. Thanks, Trisha.
Thank you very much. Now, I think too, and it just occurred to me that when we're sitting here, and I know the opposition, they'll do what they have to do, and even if they hadn't written to that effect, then we wouldn't have known, wouldn't have seen in real time how much politics is being used in all of that. When Guy Joseph writes that letter, it's not for anything else other than to play to the gallery, you know, do the strong man, you know, FU thing, and, you know, what you're going to do about it. People and this administration, I think, they're not just taunting the opposition. I think they're taunting the people of St. Lucia too. Because when you're going to say that to somebody, and people, you know, like I said, you're trying to play by the rules, you're trying to do what is right, you're trying to follow the protocols and write the letter, whatever. Do it, don't do it, they will still say things. So do it, alela. In fact, all right, I'll go. Let's take the call. Good morning.
Tisha, good morning.
Hey.
The hospital you're referring to, where is that hospital located? On the moon, the sun, in Venezuela?
The best place in the country.
You mean the hospital that the opposition is being denied to go and visit? Is it in St. Lucia?
Mm-hmm.
But Tisha, what part of St. Lucia?
Just leave me alone.
No, because I really truly cannot see why the opposition cannot go there. I wasn't aware that that hospital is in St. Lucia. Because to go down the road there is about $10, you see. To go down before it is $10. Hey. Because if the opposition serious, all they have to do, get their men, get their women, put their boots on, and you're going down there. That's what you have to do. You have to act.
No, I agree. I agree with the letter. I agree with the letter writing. No. You have to do things, and if you have to do things the way that they're supposed to, but with the response, if it add to my liking, I say more Pearson Bavutman there, yeah.
You asking Guy to go down there? You asking Guy to go down before?
You're not asking Guy to go down Beaufort, but you cannot do what they have done. You remember too, the leader of the opposition in 2014 just went down to Beaufort and tried to do the same thing. You don't want to do these things. There are ways of doing things.
Listen, you know, I remember Shastney said you have to ask. That's true. Shastney said you have to ask Theo Aking to come down Beaufort. That's true. Yes. Because Philip J. Pierre and his men just have to go along Beaufort and report to the people. Blessed love.
All right, thank you. We have a call on hold. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you, Tricia. Good morning to St. Lucia, and good morning to the master on the control. Good morning to everybody. I mean, Tricia, it is hard. I don't know if I know how to explain it. How can we have a parliament which has two sides in it, and then we are allowing a government to treat private persons better than the opposition, the parliamentary opposition? And I agree with you, because I was expecting this kind of response from Guy, and I can say that I am in arms with the caller before me. I think right now we cannot just call radio stations and Philip J.P. just writing letters. Kisha, we need to put our boots on from now on. We need to stop that crap going on in St. Lucia. Respect due to everyone, every single St. Lucian. We elected, well, a government was elected. I would not say we, because I in my life will never vote for this kind of persons in office. Because first thing I said, Krisha, I will not vote for anybody who is more ignorant than me. I will not vote for anybody their level of education is the same level with me. No, I'll be a fool to do that. And this is what has happened. Persons that we have given the trust in running our government, this is how they treat us. This is how they're treating us. What is wrong? What is wrong, or what is there to be hidden from St. Jude? That the parliamentary representatives of the country cannot go, not even the district rep that can go and visit what is happening in his constituency. I think I'm calling on Mr. JP. Sir, excuse me. I think you are being, as some guy, you are being too cool now. I think you need to put your boots on and marshal your soldiers so that we can stop that crap is going on there. Okay? I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off about when that letter was read, having that Shasney, the same thing Shasney said. It's the same thing that is written in the letter, and Shasney will come and tell us, oh, it is not he. The letter was written to the, I think the minister will deal with it in it. Wait, let me tell you people. Lucians, I do not care. Look, right now it comes to a point where we have, right, a man gaining his daily bread from a black man in St. Lucia. All his life he's working for this black man. And he's coming on TV and tell you the white man is the man that can put food on my table. And you have some jackasses come in and show pictures and show who is more beautiful, who is... Hey, I wonder if it is the professed man that tell them to look for attraction for him. I'm very pissed off about that picture. I'm sorry. Have a blessed day, my dear darling. St. Lucian, have a blessed day. We need to put our... You see, I have a waterproof there. I will have to transform it to a military boots, and I'm putting it on.
All right. Thank you very much. Now have a good weekend. Sir, I agree with you completely. I do know, though, that there is a place for respect for protocol and stuff like that. And if you're going to do that and you are met with more lies and more deceit and this strong arm tactic, that is disrespect. That letter, that's what that is. And it's not just to the opposition, it is to everyone. You can nitpick who you bring in. And again, it's not about frantic, it's just showing us in real time that the issue here is that things are just not equitable. You can bring who you want, but then the parliamentary rep for Vieux Fort South, representing thousands of people in the constituency, they cannot go and see it. And you're saying a technical meeting? Technical meeting, Fekisa. If you're going to have a technical meeting, shouldn't it be after the people see it and then you discuss and then you come back and that sort of thing? But Shasney, again, you know, cart before the horse, mad thinking. Let's take the call then. Good morning.
Good morning, Trisha.
Good morning.
It's me again.
I
just wanted to correct Gasper.
Go on.
Yeah, I just want to correct Gasper. It's $8 to come to Vieux Fort, and all we need.
No, but you need another $2. You need another $2 to go to St. Jude's Highway. You remember? $150.
That's how we walk into St. Jude. From Vieux Fort town, we walk into St. Jude. You understand? But listen, we just need people to sponsor hard hats for us, and we just closing in or just landing on St. Jude site and we visiting. It's our hospital, not Guy Joseph or not Alan Chasney own. It is our hospital. We have a right to see it. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, caller. I don't know. I don't know how much more disrespect we can take, and you could say that, you know, it's only being leveled at the opposition, but if you think that, then you are completely and utterly wrong. This is, as a nation, you cannot have things going on and people can come to see, and you have, you know, the people, I guess, who are friendly to government and people who don't know, you know, they're being given the opportunity to go to see, and the opposition parliamentarians cannot. It is wrong. It is wrong, and Mr. Winston Lubin, if you are watching, if you guys are going to head out there, please let me know. I'll see what I can do to come down to go and see. And I know that Franny said, you know what, maybe it's open because she saw so many people, she thought it was open, you know? That is wrong on so many levels. A guy, I'm not the leader of the opposition. I don't know what to tell you, except for that if it were me, I know what it is to go to certain places and people don't like you, and you know, they'll matter their fest, they'll do all kind of madness. We've seen it, I've put it out on the show, we know what it's like, we know what they come with, we know that it can be a very violent thing, that it's, you know, there's a lot of negativity, people will attack. But there are people, thousands in the South, who need a hospital and who cannot afford any more of the politicking and any more of the wastage that we have seen. $90 million gone in there for one building when it could have just continued. 2.5 years, the St. Jude stopped. And we are not going to let people be transitioned just because you want to gain political points. It will not happen. We have come to the end of the show. I want to thank all of you, as always, for watching and for listening on radio and wherever else you are. I truly, truly appreciate it, and I appreciate the callers and comments. And we are going to have more discussions. My number is 460-3054. If there are any, if you want the letter or anything else that you want to discuss as we go on into this weekend, we'll see what we can be doing. So, you know what? Be safe out there, and hopefully we will see you same time, same place, Ivo de Vley. Until then, though, have a good one.
I can't